Hi, my name is Elissa Piszel. I was just interviewed by Keith Andrew, and I had the pleasure of being interviewed by him. And keep up the good work.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Keith Andrew. You're watching the one and only KeithAndrewNetWork. I'm here with the talented and beautiful Elissa Piszel. I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here, Keith. Thank you for having me.
No, the honor's all mine. For people who want to know what my talk show's about, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities. To never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. And to prove to them is them out to something. So hashtag break the labels. As that being said, half hour, 33 minutes every time. Freedom of speech, self-expressing. Say anything you want, talk about anything you want. Remember, it's PG-13, but you do have the freedom to say what you like. And I noticed a couple things that starting off, that you are a actress, writer, and a producer. But before we get to those, the very first thing I'm going to ask you is some easy questions. When you were growing up, were you a study nerd or party animal? And did you ever do any sports?
You know what? I was more of a study nerd. I was always afraid of getting caught or doing anything bad growing up. I felt like always everybody was watching me. I don't know what that was. It was a little bit of a weird thing growing up. But I always had a desire to be a party animal. I hung out with, it was kind of like Heathers in my school. I had two different sides to me. I always hung out, I had two different groups. I hung out with, the social people, and I also hung out with kind of nerdy people because I had two different sides in me. On a struggle all the time. So I was always struggling with two different sides inside me as well. So I was always accommodating to every person around me. And I think I was always trying to please everybody in my life. And in terms of sports, I was a ballet dancer. I was a dancer since I was 3 years old. So I was always studying ballet up until high school and in ballet school after for hours. So I was doing that as a sport. If any sport I did, it was more of soccer, no running or anything like that. So I was really a dancer.
Oh, nice. What can you tell us about being a dancer?
I loved it. I was a classical ballet dancer. I was a horrible tapper. I couldn't tap dance for the life of me. I just didn't have the legs for it, the rhythm for it. It was horrible. I always wanted to be a good tapper, but I wasn't. I did every sort of ballet dance there was, Nutcracker, Firebird, Giselle, all of that. I loved being on point. I loved any kind of classical dance, modern dance. I just loved it. I loved being around other dancers. I just love dancing, and I loved everything about it.
Was there ever a time where you accidentally bumped into someone, or you accidentally caused like a pile-up?
A pile-up? No, I never caused a pile-up, but I surely bumped into people many, many times. And when dancers do that, they don't like that with other dancers, and they pretend like it doesn't happen, and they get kind of annoyed. They get annoyed.
So they get bitchy.
Yes, exactly. I was going to use that word, but I didn't want to get...
it's PG-13.
Yes, PG-13. That's bitchy right now in 2019.
A lot of,
Yeah.
a lot of people say I get bitchy sometimes. Or a lot of people
Yes.
say I'm filled with hot air.
You're filled with hot air. Oh gosh.
Well, at least I get to make you laugh. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I love laughing. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Now, my next thing I was going to ask you, then we could go to the hard-hitting ones, is did he ever get the chance to do one of those human pyramids, or are you not into the whole human pyramid stuff?
I never was a cheerleader in high school. I think I probably always wish I had gone. I was a band person. I was a band nerd. I played the flute. But I wanted to be a cheerleader. I never got to do a human pyramid. If I think back into my younger days, I might have done one in camp, but I don't remember. Like, in Meatballs, in the movie Meatballs, where probably everybody did one. But I might have done one too. I got into a very kind of prestigious theater school called Governor School for the Arts in my junior year, or in my 11th grade year in high school, where you go to a special school at Bucknell University, and 10 people get accepted for poetry, 10 people get Did I lose you?
Nope, you're back.
Oh, I just went to this theater school where we probably did a pile up. We probably did a pile up there at Governor School for the Arts. So, a pyramid there.
I love that stuff. I'm a loser.
You're you're not. No, I love being a loser. I think not. I mean, I don't know if it's called a loser, but it's called maybe getting down and dirty and with the earth and the rough stuff.
But would he ever be interested in doing one, or not really, or is it past tense?
A pyramid?
Yeah.
Yes. Are you kidding me? Now? It's like doing Twister. I still have Twister in my apartment.
Yeah, but put her on her things to do list.
Yeah.
Now, the next question I was going to ask you is because you mentioned you are an actress, writer, and producer. What order did that go from it started? Were you an actress, then a writer, or were you a writer, then a producer? What was the very first thing that you did?
Oh, it was ballet, then it was acting, then it was acting in musical theater, and then it was producing in New York. I had 3 theater companies in New York, very young, and then I did writing. After I came back from LA, from doing the Groundlings in 2014, and then I just wrote Ellie's Perk, which went to festivals and won in festivals, and I'm making that into a web series. It's about a girl obsessed with coffee, and she can't have any relationships because of that. So,
No, that's really cool. So, and then let me ask you, I'll start from the bottom, work my way up. Producing, you were a producer. What were some of your favorite things that you ever produced? And what was the very first thing you ever produced?
some of the things that I produced were theater, and that was a long time ago, right around when I was probably 25 years old in the city when the theaters were still like black box theaters. And I produced a play called Trust, and I actually had to take my top off for the first time. I know. I did. It was a love scene, but it was in the dark, but I had to take it off, and my parents invited their, I didn't know they were inviting friends of my family, my hometown. And it added a whole new level to the play. But they were actually very cool about it, and Are you frozen? Or you come back?
Yep.
Are you back?
I don't know if that's your end or my end.
It might be on, you know what? People are just contacting me, my producers, and people are texting me at the same time. It's frustrating because I have people texting me and I have people calling me.
No, I understand. Well, you can always like turn it off. Just put on ignore.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
All right. So you were saying that you were working in a play and your family sort of got a surprise out of that.
Yeah, I did tell them that, and yeah, it was a really, really cool moment for me, and I think that it was when I really was letting them know it's a very, this was a momentous time. I was really kind of letting them know I'm a real actress, and I'm a producer, I'm a real actress, I'm very serious about this. I mean, they knew when I was going to school at NYU at Strasberg, they knew that too, obviously, but when I was, producing my own stuff and doing that, then it was, becoming my own.
Well, let me ask you this. Would you be interested in producing something with me?
Producing something with you?
Yeah, like something with the talk show.
Oh, yeah. I mean, sure.
Like, do you have any ideas? Like,
right off the top of my head?
Well,
I don't know.
Hypothetically.
Right off the top of my head, I don't know right now.
Well, hypothetically, we could do something like a play. We could do like a short documentary. We could do like a short film. Does any of that interest you?
Sure, I'd have to think about it. Right now, we're doing our film in the moon shadow, so we're working on that. And it's going to festivals right now. So I'm in the middle of that. But sure, yeah.
No, absolutely. And where in the city are you based?
I'm based on the Upper West.
That's Manhattan?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so I'm going to be there this Monday. Maybe you want to swing by for a little bit. I'm going to be at the, Manhattan Neighborhood of Broadcasting.
Well, I'm actually heading out to Maine for the Maine International Film Festival because our movie is going to MIF.
Okay.
So I'm going to be out there promoting our film.
That's an idea. Have you ever heard of the Manhattan Neighborhood of Broadcasting?
No.
I'm going out there to be interviewed for my talk show. It's my very first interview, so, knock on wood. So...
That's amazing. Congratulations.
No, I appreciate it. And, I do have a couple ideas for you off the air. You help me, I help you. Also, while we're on the subject about that, the guy who I'm working with wants me to talk to some of my actor friends about having them work with him. So if you're interested or if you want to act for some of his stuff, I can put you in contact.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Now, like I said, you help me, I help you. So the next question I was going to ask you is, what were some of your favorite writing that you ever did? And have you... Well, let me rephrase on those 3 questions real fast. Going back to the producing, have you ever worked with people with disabilities? And like we were just talking about, are you willing to work with people with disabilities?
Well, for sure, I'm willing to work with people who have disabilities. I mean, I have a disability. Why wouldn't I be willing to work with people who have disabilities? For sure. And right now, we have people in our film, our feature film, who have disabilities. I think it's important to have people who from all over, everyone who's different, because they bring so much to the table. They bring experience, they bring knowledge, they bring excitement. They bring just, you have to have that in a film, and it's a wide variety of people. You can't just have one type of person, and to believe that nobody has anything that you have in your film, that everybody's fine, is just ridiculous. I mean, everybody has something.
I agree with you 100%. And that goes to my second part I'm going to ask you. You're a writer. Have you ever written a script or a story for people with disabilities and worked with the same question as the producing, but now we're going to change the producing to the writing?
Right. You mean it included their disability in the
story?
Right?
Yes.
Not yet. I have not. Are you there? Okay, but that's a very interesting topic to have. I think that's a very important. That's something that is a very interesting subject to have, because I'm just a new writer, so this is something that I've just started doing. So I haven't done anything specifically, but that's a good thing to look into for me.
Well, let me ask you real fast and throwing it out there. Say you're helping me with my talk show, and you're writing like a script. What ideas would you throw out there?
In terms of for disabilities?
Movies, TV shows, getting people's attention more.
For disabilities?
Yes. For like an example, the concept of my show. I have no script. Do you think I should have a script, or do you think I'm doing fine without one?
No, I think you're doing fine, and I think maybe that, you can maybe switch it up a bit, have like, I mean, I think that you each time, it's kind of like you're putting me on the spot a little bit, but it's okay. I think it's good. I think each time, you can, find out what each person is doing specifically. Like you looked up me, but find out a little bit more about them, and hone in on what their likes and dislikes are. Maybe if they have like a certain charity that they go to, for disabilities, or and maybe talk about that charity. I know that you have done that before with certain things, and maybe put that charity up on your site, or maybe you have another charity that you go to, and put that into your site. That might work, or I don't know. I'd have to think about that and get back to you. No, you're laughing, but I'm just trying to think. Kind of threw me for a loop there.
Yeah, I do that. A lot of people say I ask a lot of questions that come out of left field.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, sometimes you could have dogs on your show in the background. Sometimes you could have, I mean, there's a lot of different things that you could do. I mean, a service dog or something like that. I mean, that goes into disabilities, or bring that on, I mean, there's a lot of different things you could do with that.
Absolutely. And like I said, once we go to season 7, season 8, hopefully by then I have my own studio and I can change it up, From the quick highlights, I was doing phone interviews, from recording from the phone, to, hey, I'll give you an example. I was doing like phone interviews, and then how you see your reflection on the screen. That's season 1. And then season 2 is how you see your reflection again. I'm recording from the computer screen. And season 3 and going forward, it's cut in half. I'm on the right, you're on the left. But my goal is to
Yeah.
get a studio, to sit down with the person, to interact with my people skills, to have fun. So I didn't want to do this from the very start, even though a lot of people said, well, if you really wanted your show to work out, you would have done it right the first time. But I wanted to show you there was a process of, hey, look at what someone with a disability had to go from. I wanted to go, A, B, C, D. I didn't want to go to A to Z because, yes, you would have seen the process, but at the same time, and you see that during the seasons, sometimes like season 1 and 2, I was asking questions about gay rights and where you stand on legalizing marijuana and our torture or whatever bullshit questions there was. And then I'm like, okay, season 3 and 4, it's got to be a little personal. Like I said, I like human pyramids. So I asked you about that stuff. And then I asked you a little more questions about, life growing up. Then I'm like, okay, well, let's get rid of all the political stuff. But let's go a little bit deeper. So, yes, I like the pyramid stuff. I asked that. But I asked, okay, now the show's about disabilities. Let's have that be the prime target of the show. And you can get up, walk around, show us your place or whatever. But it'd be interactive. So I'm showing you there's a process. So
Right.
season 1, 2, and 3, it's similar as in, yes, it's a normal conversation, but it's different as in there's multiple things we can do with it.
Right. Right.
But the next question I do want to ask you is, who were some of your favorite actresses and models at brain fart? Who were some of your favorite actors that you ever worked with, and actresses, of course, and how many years have you been acting?
It's so funny because I watched Sophia Lopez's thing, and she was like, "Oh, you're gonna think I'm so old, and et cetera, because she's been acting for a long time." I said, and I thought, "Oh my God, I know I'm gonna say the same thing. I've been acting for a long time too, and I've been doing it for 20 years." But I think that acting is a long, ongoing process for someone, and you're constantly learning all the time. You go through ups, you go through downs, you go through ups, you go through downs, and it's like if you don't stay at the top of your game, you're not at your game because you got to be at the best all the time. And I think I've worked with a lot of people. I worked with Sam Shepard from Bloodline, who's passed away. So sad. I've worked with Stephen Ray from V for Vendetta. I've worked with Sherman Hemsley before he passed away from the Jeffersons. I've worked with Jane Lynch on commercials. I've worked with, she's hilarious. I've worked with Mariska Hargitay, Law and Order. She's wonderful. She's absolutely amazing. I've worked with Hugh Jackman.
Worked with me.
Huh? I do. Hugh Jackman. He's wonderful. I've worked with Woody Allen. My God, Al Pacino everybody loves Ray Romano on The Irishman. I play this girl who comes in to see her husband in The Irishman and in jail. Anyway, so I've been really lucky. And I know that you interviewed Deborah Lord Cook too, who she plays Susie. That's where I actually met Deborah Lord Cook. And we are working on a film together in the Moon Shadow. And she and I were in the Woody Allen movie together. She played Susie Bancroft, and I played Countess Van Goren, Chicky Van Goren, in the Woody Allen movie. So.
Yeah, that's really cool. And then also you got the chance to work with me as well. Although I'm not famous or anything, but still.
I did get a chance to work with you.
Now we're going to take a quick commercial break. And what's the last 8 minutes and counting? I'm going to pass the show over to you. And you can ask me anything you like.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Taylor Kilgore.
Hello, I'm actress-producer Sandra Justice.
Hello, I'm Sakina.
Hey, I'm Allison Seal.
Hi, I'm Laura Saltman.
Hi, I'm Annika Skiva.
Hi, I'm Bailey Heath.
Hi, I'm Marissa Joy Davis.
This is Michelle Wong.
I'm Nancy Rose.
My name is Brandy Hunt. And
hello, my name is Raven Wynn.
Hi there, my name is Giovanna Vidal.
Hi, I'm Monica Thomas.
Hi, I'm Paisley Blackburn.
I'm Ashley Burgess.
Hi, my name is Jeanette Abney.
Hi, I'm Sharon Spank.
Hey, this is Samantha Moore.
Hi, I'm Melody Jones.
Hi, my name is Becky Yee.
Hi, you're watching the Keith Andrew Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Keith Andrew Network. This is episode 609. I'm here as the talented and beautiful Miss Elissa. I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my show.
Yes, you're welcome, Keith.
Now, it's the last 8 minutes left and counting. I'm going to pass it over to you. Was there anything you wanted to know? Anything you wanted to talk about? Actually, there's one last thing I do want to talk to you about real fast, so I could do mention in all my episodes. And then I'm going to pass it over to you. Social media, with everything you accomplish in your life, from being a producer, a writer, an actress, does your fan base dictate your career? Does social media dictate if people should work with you? Like, have you thought or felt that it's okay, people are looking at me because, yes, I'm a producer, and I'm producing my stuff on media, or I'm a writer and I'm putting it on Blogger, or I'm an actress and I'm on New York casting. Do you think social media is pointing a direction at you, or do you think it's just there?
Just what?
Oh, just there. How do you feel about social media? Do you think it dictates your career?
I think it has a lot to do with your career right now. I think that because social media plays a huge part in what the younger generation is, has your fan base right now. I think that it has a lot to do with IMDb and how you promote yourself right now. But I think that for people who don't have the resume, if you already have a huge resume, then you're fine. Or if you have if you already have, if you already are a huge guest star, but you never know when you're going to get your next job in this business. So you really have to keep constantly working to keep your fan base up in this business, really constantly promoting yourself as an actor and a writer, letting people know, what you're doing. Even agents constantly do that too, and casting directors are constantly promoting, oh, they like this show, they like that show. I mean, shows don't even know when they're going to be, they don't even know if they're going to be on the next year. They have to still promote themselves as well. I mean, it's hard to keep up in this business, and now, I mean, it's especially because now with Netflix and Amazon and all these shows have to compete with one another with television shows, it's really tough. So I think social media, really, you need to have that. You need to promote yourself. It's very important, and you need to know how in the best way possible. So in terms of saying yes, I think that it doesn't really predict the outcome of your acting life, because the next day somebody could find you somewhere and you could become really famous. You know what I mean? But it's important to understand and have knowledge of what you can do with that advertisement, that world. You have to use it.
I agree with you, and it's always good to have competition. It's funny. You look at back in the day, WWF versus WCW. It's always good because, you had competition, you had options. Now you have WWE versus TNA or AEW, Cartoon Network versus Nickelodeon. They don't even do that anymore. Or if they do, they really don't care. You look at Netflix versus Hulu, or Hulu versus YouTube.
And now Apple TV too.
Yeah. So, you know what? I think a great invention, and you hear it first on the KeithAndrewNetwork. Wouldn't it be a great invention to have a streaming service that people can watch on TV? And okay, people are like, oh, well, you have YouTube. But a streaming service where you can have up-and-coming people like yourself, like me, who can get out there to the masses and say, this is our story. And yes, you have YouTube, but if people don't know who you are, you're pretty much just a speck on the radar. But wouldn't it be cool to say, if Netflix says, we're now offering a free service. If we feel your story is good enough, or your acting is good enough, we're going to have you on our network and give you a trial. I think that would be good for the entertainment world, for people who want to break out. Just give people a chance.
Yes, I think that's good. I think that if you know what you're selling, I think you have to know exactly what you're selling. You have to know exactly what you're selling, though, when you pitch it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Now, wrapping up the show, I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But when I first approached you, I want you to be brutally honest. When I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what was your first reaction to the letter? What made you say yes? And how do you feel now, and would you recommend it?
This is my first reaction to
when I first approached you and you looked at the email, what was your first reaction? What made you say yes? And how do you feel now?
My first reaction was, I don't know if I want to do it. And then what? What was the second thing that you asked me?
What made you say yes?
What made me say yes was that I felt like it was important for me to do it, to step outside myself and to connect with you.
And how do you feel now, and would you recommend it?
And I say, oh, yes, I would totally recommend it, and I feel great.
No, absolutely. And my last question for you, and we can talk off the air. The more I stare at your face, I'm just imagining you with different hairstyles, because you look familiar. Because I don't know if I've seen... I know you have that type of face, like, oh, how are you, blah, blah, blah. But it's weird, because I seen that you, like, it's weird, because it's like, people have doppelgangers, doubles.
Yeah.
But it's just weird. I'm just imagining you as different hairstyles. I'm like...
I do. I'm constantly changing my hair.
And I'm like, why does that look so familiar? Because it's like striking a bell at me. I can't think of the person's name, but I know I've seen that before. But anyway, that's for another time.
Is it Lisa Kudrow?
Huh?
Is it Lisa Kudrow?
Well, the hair right now, for an example, how it's kind of like a dark color. I know someone who has a type of look. So it kind of looks like you're wearing a wig, because you have kind of like dark hair and you have blonde covering it. It's hard to explain, but I know I sound weird, but I don't know. It's weird, because I know someone like that.
What about now?
Now, sliding doors, right? Anyway, we can talk about that some other time. But my last question for you, wrapping up our show, is how can people follow you on social media? And also, crap, I asked you the question before. So yeah, usually what I ask you, how do you feel about being on the show? Would you recommend it? Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I just got distracted. But how can people follow you on social media? Are you on LinkedIn, Stage 32, any websites you would recommend but I didn't?
Well, I'm on Elissa Piszel on Instagram. You can follow me there. You can follow me on, you can go and check my website out at www.elissapiszel.com. And you can also like our feature film, In the Moonshadow.com on our Facebook page. And you can also like my Exit Zero, the film that's coming out too. And I'm also on Facebook, so you can, check out my Facebook page, Elissa Piszel, on there.
No, absolutely. And don't worry, I'm going to have your Instagram name on the bottom of the screen so people can follow you.
Okay.
Wrapping up, it was a real honor and privilege having you as a guest, and I'm looking forward to part 2 down the road.
Yay!